Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Temperatures across the region continue to be in a general alignment with cooler in the west, warmer off to the east, and we'll keep that alignment here through the next few days, though there will be pulses of cooler air traversing the prairie as we head through the next 7 days or so. As we look into kind of the 7 to 14 day time frame, getting into the very first week of June, it does look like warmer conditions are going to return to the prairie. There's been some uncertainty within the last few forecasts that I've given here, kind of just, maybe a little hint of some cooler weather, maybe keeping the active pattern. It does look like we transition to not only warmer but drier for many across the prairie as we head into kind of the again 7 to 14 day time frame, kind of week 2. So you look at precipitation, we've got a storm system tracking through this region as we speak. That's going to continue to drop significant rainfall and a little bit of light snow from portions of central and Alberta, central and northern Alberta through northern Saskatchewan into northern Manitoba, and then a second corridor here with the storm track off to the south. It's going to bring some showers and storms to portions of far southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba as you head through Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures across the prairie, again, warm in the east, cool in the west, anywhere from the single digits in much of Alberta to near 20 degrees already as we near the lunch hour in southeastern Saskatchewan into southern and central Manitoba. The result of this storm system, you see the very obvious swirl across western Canada. Again, if you don't, I'll draw it in. Here's our area of low pressure right now situated across north central Alberta. Out ahead of that, plenty of southerly flow, warm air advection, a warm front approximately in that region, so that's why, again, we're seeing those temperatures already pushing 20 degrees across this region. Meanwhile, coming around on the backside of this very well-defined storm system, a lot of cold air, and that's what's helping in a small region here across portions of western and central Alberta change some of that precipitation over to snow here as we head through the next 24 hours. So there's the storm system. Let's take the drawings off there. Lots of sunshine across Saskatchewan, central and southern Saskatchewan, pushing into much of southern Manitoba. Should be just a gorgeous day in that area. On the flip side, kind of a cloudy, gloomy, cool, rainy, maybe even a few snowflakes there in Alberta. So a big contrast as we end the week. The radar picture, again, very busy across Alberta. Some showers across south central Saskatchewan right now. We may see more in the way of showers and storms developing across that region as we head into the afternoon and evening. Quiet, though, as you head over toward southern Manitoba. Let's look at the high-resolution forecast just for the next day and a half. Again, as we head into the afternoon hours, watching for the chance for some of those showers and storms to flare up across the border of Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the southern border. As we go back toward western and into central Alberta, again, that's where we've got that cold precipitation wrapping around on the backside. So lighter precipitation on the backside of the storm system as it starts to kind of wind down, but still the chance for some snowflakes to mix in there at times. As we head into the overnight, Friday night into early Saturday morning, here is sunrise on Saturday morning. Much of the prairie is going to be dry at this point. We'll see a few lingering showers, maybe a rumble of thunder across portions of southern Manitoba. Drying out as we head into Saturday afternoon. We then kind of shift our focus off to the south. Here's this next little area of low pressure starting to come up, bringing some showers and storms Saturday afternoon across southern Manitoba as it makes its way on out of here. So total precipitation between now and midnight on Saturday night into Sunday morning looking a bit like this. Again, more broad, uniform precipitation here, 15 to 25 millimeters of additional precipitation falling across this region, some of that falling in the form of some snow. As you head through central and southern Saskatchewan, really getting missed by a lot of this. Maybe a stray shower or storm bringing a little stripe of precipitation, but a lot of folks staying dry. And then you head off to the east, and then we've got far southeastern Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba with, again, a smattering here with these showers and storms. So it's going to be a bit of an uneven distribution here. Most people seeing maybe a few tenths to maybe 15 millimeters of precipitation, and then where we see some of those thunderstorms perhaps getting into the higher amounts here of maybe local 30 to 40 millimeter amounts. As we head through that same period. So looking at a more broad picture here from the European over the same exact time frame, again, kind of a uniform 15 to maybe 30 millimeters of precipitation additionally falling here across central Alberta and then continuing across northern regions, and then that little strip here across southeastern Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. Again, splotchy in nature, heaviest where we get some of those showers and storms. Now the upper level pattern looking something like this. Here's the trough making its way through right now. That's the reason that we are warmer in advance of that area of low pressure, in advance of that trough, cool air coming in associated with that trough. Now as we go ahead and just take a look at where we're headed over the next few days, we're going to generally keep that troughing in place as we head through the weekend. That's what keeps us a bit on the active side. We're going to see a subtle wave come in here during the mid to late week. You can kind of see it carving it out right there. Again, this is as we get into this is as we get into Wednesday and Thursday midweek. Again, that's going to bring a shot of some cooler air. It's going to be another shot of some scattered showers and storms. But on the back side of that, it's looking more and more likely that we're going to see some ridging building into the prairie, and we see good agreement with that now between the European long-range model and the American GFS model. This would be a warmer pattern across the prairie. It would also be a drier pattern across the prairie, as much of the storm track and the active precipitation will be deflected up and over the top of that ridge, which again, then most of the cool air being kind of displaced there across the Pacific and then across the Hudson Bay. So this would be great as we head into the last few days of May, the first few days of June. This would be a drier and a warmer pattern across the prairie. We can see that reflected then with the temperature forecast, the temperature anomaly forecast. This will also reflect kind of the stage that I set for the next 5 to 7 days. If you remember, that's generally in alignment with cooler temperatures in the west, warmer in the east, but periodic shots of cooler air. We're going to see a little shot of cooler air come in on the backside of this first trough here to begin the week. We're going to see things recover back to kind of warm east, cool west, and then we see that next midweek trough come through. That's going to bring a shot of cooler air to the prairie as we get into the end of the week. But then taking it a bit further into the last days of May, the first few days of June, we start to ridge out in the west. That is going to allow things to begin to warm up first in the west, but then ideally, and looking more and more likely, that we'll expand that into the east as we head into the first few days of June. So just quickly recapping the precipitation forecast associated with all of this. Again, we've got our storm system making its way through during the day today. We'll head into tonight, early tomorrow morning, as we head through Saturday and Sunday, watching this corridor for those showers and storms before that area of low pressure pulls off as we get into Monday. So now we're into Monday, keeping things pretty dry. We'll see that midweek shot of cooler air and the chance for some precipitation along that, but you notice we're not really doing anything in the way of real focused, significant precipitation, just scattered showers and storms here as we get into the day on Wednesday. Midweek, cooler air follows Thursday and Friday, but on the backside, as that ridge builds in, we move into a much drier pattern as we get into the end of next week, into next weekend. Total precipitation, let's just go ahead and hit play on the entirety of the next week. Again, focusing on the corridor here that's drier as we head through the weekend, and then we see it get kind of hit there at the very end. That would be our chance for precipitation here Wednesday and Thursday of the coming week. Let's go ahead and step back once more. Let's take it through the weekend. This is total precipitation through the weekend with both of our systems here, the first to the north, the second one that cuts through the southeast. We are dry then Monday and Tuesday, and then as we get into late Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when we kind of fill this area in with scattered precipitation. Not real heavy. We're talking about 5 to 15 millimeters of precipitation, but at least giving a little drink there to central and southern portions of Saskatchewan before we, by all intents and purposes, look like we're heading to a drier pattern as we get into the first week of June. Surface winds, those are going to begin to fade finally as well across portions of Alberta and Saskatchewan, rather gusty at times this afternoon with that area of low pressure in place. They'll be blustery on a lighter note as we head into Saturday. I don't want to call it blustery. I'm going to take that word back. We're talking about winds maybe 10 to 15 knots during the afternoon on Saturday, and then even lighter as our storm system pulls away, finally looking at calm winds across much of the prairie until you get over to southern Manitoba, maybe 5 to 10 knots in that area. But finally looking at some calm winds as we head into the early part of next week. And again, we got some warmer days on the horizon for you across the entire prairie. Let's look at those high temperatures then over the next 10 days just to wrap this video up. Again, climbing back into the 20s as we get into early next week and potentially staying there. We've got that little dip as we get into midweek. Again, that little shot of maybe some cooler air. As we look at the Regina temperature forecast here, this would be Saskatoon. And then here we are in Winnipeg. Again, really pretty pleasant. If we're talking about cooler shots of air, it's really bringing us back to about where we should be this year. Maybe a degree or two on the cool side, but not many going to be complaining about this at this point. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend. There will be no Monday morning Canadian forecast. We'll be celebrating Memorial Day down here, but we will resume things on Wednesday morning. Again, have a great weekend and a great start to your next week. We'll talk to you all on Wednesday morning.